Welcome in Karibuni to a room of Zanzibar. Today I'm going to attempt to make Zanzibar pizza. Yes, I'm attempting to make Zanzibar pizza because this is my first time. So I've got my flour, water, and oil. I'm using olive oil here. You can use whatever oil you wish. And then I'm going to add salt to my water and just stir it to make sure that the salt is well dissolved before I add it into my flour. Okay, so I've got about a quarter cup of water here. That's what the recipe called. And by the way, this is not my recipe. I had to Google and look for a recipe, and fortunately, there was one person who had it, and I'm going to link it in the description box so that she will get credit for her job. Okay, then I added the oil, but I ended up adding a little more water than what was mentioned. So I added about a tablespoon and a half actually more, to get it to the consistency that I want. Okay. And so as to my knowledge and what I have seen, the Zanzibar pizza, it's really, really stretched when they're about to cook it, the pastry. So to get it to that level, you need to have a lot of gluten. So I'm going to knead my dough for about 10 minutes to develop that gluten. Okay, so yeah, Zanzibar pizza, to my knowledge, when we grew up, we didn't grow up eating Zanzibar pizza. It's something that has come up maybe about 15 years ago. It's more like a murtabak, the Malaysian and Singapore street food. Now my dough is almost ready. Now if you want to know, you're going to press it down with your fingers and it's going to come up, and you're not going to have the finger marks. That means your dough is ready. Okay, so I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I've just added a little oil here, and then a little oil more, and you're going to cover it and keep it for about 2 hours. Now at this stage, what I've seen, they put a lot of oil, and I'm trying to cut down the amount of oil that goes into this. So if you want, you can add more. I think about almost 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil goes into this dough when it's resting. Okay, so now my dough is ready, and what I did was I divided this into 8 portions, 4 small balls and 4 big balls for the main pizza. And the small balls is to make the little bread that is placed on the surface of the actual pastry dough. Simply because I think it's to hold, since you're putting a lot of filling in it, to allow it to hold the pizza without cracking. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm just doing, and I'm adding a little oil to it simply because I did not have too much oil while my dough was resting. Like I say, I'm trying to cut down the oil. Seriously, this thing has a lot of oil, and I was really, really thinking twice of whether should I release this video or not. But since it's done for you guys, you all have been asking me for Zanzibar pizza. That's why I said, okay, let me go ahead and put it out. But it's not my thing. I mean, I can eat it, but I don't think it's something that I would make it very often. Okay, so I got it here on my dry pan, and you can add oil to this, and I'm just gonna kind of dry cook it. Okay, and then now I'm going to start with a bigger one. Now if you decide to make the small breads all at one time, then you want to cover them so they don't get dried. Okay, and I honestly don't know how to twist the way that's one technique. You really have to be experienced to do it. It's beautiful to watch the way they twist and stretch their dough. And yeah, so I'm not making a big Zanzibar pizza. It's just a small one. Then I'm going to place my little bread over there, and then some onions. And I have cooked my meat just with ginger, garlic, black pepper, a little salt. That's about it. But you can cook it however you want, and you can add more stuff if you want. I'm adding the little cheese here. Make sure your cheese in room temperature. Mine is not. They also do add mayonnaise, but I don't want mayonnaise in mine. And you can add, okay, then there goes the egg, okay, and mix it. You can add tomatoes, you can add bell peppers, you can add anything you want, and that's what's going to make your Zanzibar pizza different from me or anybody else. And I think that's why all the vendors in Zanzibar make their Zanzibar pizza different from each one, because of the mixture that goes in it. Okay, so I've just added cilantro and little green chilies to it, and we're just gonna fold it. And the reason why I'm doing this video, I did this video last week, and I found that when I found out that I had 5,000 subscribers, and this is a kind of a thank you to you all. And since this is requested a lot, and I said this might be a kind of a bonus. Okay, so now I've placed it into my pan, which is on medium high heat, and my pan has got a little oil. Like I say, it looks dry, but it's got a little bit oil. At this point, you can add more oil if you want. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to cut down on the oil. This thing has a lot of oil and it's just too much for me. So I'm trying to just cook it without so much oil, as you can see, but you can add oil. Okay, and yeah, so I mean it's beautiful. I mean, I loved it, my kids loved it. So there goes, I made 2, so there are 2 more to go. So you'll get about 4 pizzas from this recipe. This is about 1 cup of flour. Okay, so I'm just going to garnish it here, and some little green onions. And you can have it with some ketchup or hot sauce or whatever you may fancy. Well, so Zanzibar pizza, here we come, and well, that's about it for now. I don't want to say much. So just gonna slice it and see. So thank you so much. For more recipes, please visit me at Aroma of Zanzibar.